guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today, because today we're talking about one of my favorite topics, and that is travel. How do you survive a long haul flight? Well, I recently went on the longest flight of my life, and I learned a few things that I want to pass on to you to help you in your journey to travel wherever it is that you're going this summer, or maybe in the fall, or maybe in the winter. I promise you these tips are going to help you learn how to be the best travel person ever, because they really helped me and they got me through the longest flight of my life. Now, when I say long haul flight, I'm talking about anything that has more than 7 hours. You know, if you're more than 7 hours on a plane, that's considered a pretty long flight. And some of you have, legs that you take to get to different places, and it could be very taxing on the body, the mind. And so I learned a few things that I'm going to pass on to you. So if you want to learn how I survived the longest flight of my life, please keep watching this video. Okay, so my first tip for you is to pack what you need. And that goes without saying. You're always going to want to pack what you need. But in order to avoid any travel anxiety, you really should be making a list of the items that you need and making sure that you plan accordingly. That looks very different for everyone. For me, my essentials are different from yours, but I just want to share a few of those essentials with you, and maybe that's going to help you jog your brain and figure out what is it that I need personally that Donna uses so that I can be successful on my long haul flight. So when I think about essentials, I'm always thinking about, of course, medications or any vitamins or supplements that you think will help you. So I always carry around a bag that looks like this, that's TSA approved. So it's clear, it's the TSA size. And in this bag are all of my essentials. So for me, some of those things are well-rested herbal tea, sleepy time tea, some people call it. And I use one of these every single night as part of my nightly ritual. And I love packing these with me because they help me whenever I get to a new place to adjust to the time difference, if there is one. And so that's gonna really help you when you're flying. If you are able to sleep on a plane, that's even better. But that's definitely an essential for me. Another thing is melatonin. So that might look differently for you. I use these little herbal restoration sleep from ZzzQuil Vicks. And I also use these packets, the vitamin Z packets, that unfortunately are discontinued now, but they look like this. These are amazing, and I'm so sad that they're discontinued because it's really hard to find them now. But I still have some left from the last time that I was able to purchase them. And so they are such a lifesaver whenever I'm traveling anywhere new and I have a big time change. I take one of these at night, and it really helps me adjust to the new travel time. Another essential, especially on the plane, are going to be any sort of liquid IV or electrolyte powder. These are essentials when you're on a long haul flight, because you're losing a lot of water when you're flying. And so you constantly need to rehydrate, and sometimes water is just not enough. So an electrolyte powder is really going to help you, make sure that you are well hydrated, and it gives you like a vitamin boost, which is needed, especially when you feel like your immunity is suppressed. So you could use this one. This is also a liquid IV hydration multiplier. You can find these at Costco, or you could use this electrolyte recovery powder, which I'm gonna link it down below in this video so that you can find these. These are actually, they're, I think, 0 sugar, which is great, and 0 carb and 0 sugar, which is awesome. So these are the ones that I used on this last flight that I went on, and they were definitely a lifesaver for me. I also like to pack some B3 or B12, the B complex liquid, just in case I need a little oomph in my water. I like to put that in there, and in case like I'm trying to be energized or I just want to be okay, then this is essential for me also. Some other things that are essentials for me on a long haul flight are noise canceling headphones. I use the AirPods, And I also bought this on Amazon, which I will link down below. And it basically, they're magnetic, so you can actually sync them to your AirPods. That way they don't fall when you're, let's say, watching a movie on a flight, which has happened to me, by the way. We went to Hawaii not too long ago and I was watching a movie and one of them fell, and it was before I had bought this. So I learned from that trip to always carry this with me as well, so it's become an essential. Another essential for me are going to be Dramamine. I cannot travel without Dramamine. I get really bad motion sickness, and so I take 2 varieties of them. I take the original, and this is the one that really knocks me out. So if I'm ready to go to sleep, let's say it's like a red-eye flight or something where I know I could be taking a nap, I'm gonna take this one because it really does a great job at making me fall asleep, even on the plane. And I also take Dramamine less drowsy because a lot of times when you're traveling, you know, you might be on the road a lot, or maybe if you have a really long haul flight, you might need some extra Dramamine while you're on the flight. And so if I don't want to fall asleep and I still need, you know, to not feel the motion, then I will take this. As well as a eye mask, and this is the one that I use because it's very soft and it has Velcro in the back, and you just put it on like this and you're able to take a really good nap on a plane. I bought this one at Daiso, but I will link a similar one down below. Another essential for me is my iPad or iPhone or both. And what I do is I always download a bunch of movies, a bunch of podcasts, books. Anything that's gonna keep me entertained on a flight is a must, especially when it's a long haul flight. You wanna make sure that you take an extra charging cable just to make sure that you are all charged up and you're able to recharge if need be. Although if you put your phone on airplane mode and your iPad, you should be able to get through it. But just in case, always, you know, prepare for the worst and bring extra charging cables with you in case you need, or an external charging cord, which can be very helpful. Hand sanitizer, that's another essential for me. I like to, you know, sanitize my seat because you never know what germs could be around. And I also use the wipes, the hand sanitizing wipes to clean thoroughly. That way I'm not touching anyone's germs. Your essentials might look a little different, but make sure that you are packing what you need and that you're making a list of the items that you need ahead of time so that you don't forget anything and you're able to not have any anxiety while you're trying to travel. Tip number 2 is wear compression socks. I bought these on Amazon. They worked great for my long haul flights, and you can get them in different colors, varieties. I like the long ones because I feel like they protect you a little bit more. And basically it just helps your body not retain any liquid and not get swollen when you're on a really long flight. They worked wonders. I did not swell at all. And actually someone had recommended this to me before I went on my long haul flight. And I'm so glad that I did it because it really did make a difference. And I really felt a little bit more hydrated in a really strange way throughout my entire flight. So wear compression socks. Tip number 3, find a good neck pillow for you. So I used to use the donuts, and someone recommended the turtle pillow to me, and I was very hesitant at first when I first bought it because I thought, how is this turtle pillow going to work? It's just basically, it looks like a blanket with like this weird thing here. But basically if you use it correctly, you're gonna put it here, and then you're gonna wrap it all around you like that. And what it's gonna do, it's gonna create like a little cushion so that when you're on a flight, you're able to sink into it and your neck doesn't hurt. So it's called the turtle pillow. And I am happy to report that it actually does work, you guys. I did not have to use that donut pillow anymore. And even though I did like the cushion that the donut pillow provided, it just didn't do the job very well because sometimes, you know, your neck would hurt back here. It would be a little uncomfortable. This one does not do that. And it's a lot more compact, I feel like, than the, you know, donut pillow that I used to use. So make sure that you're finding one that suits you, that works for you, for your neck, and that you're comfortable with. And I would even recommend that you test it out, maybe on a shorter flight, just to make sure that you are comfortable with the results. Tip number 4 is don't overeat. It's so hard to feel like you are bloated. You know, you're already gonna get bloated on a flight and you don't wanna make it worse. So it's so important that you're really sticking to light meals the day of your flight. From the moment that you wake up out of bed, try your hardest not to eat a lot, because that's really gonna affect you and it's really gonna work against you when you're trying to stick to this really long flight. So, you know, my recommendation is just try to eat like really small, light meals that are not gonna make you gassy or make you feel bloated. And this is just to help you in the long run, because it's going to, you know, help you prevent, you know, retaining even more water than you're already going to do while you're on a long haul flight. So stick to small meals, maybe some fruit, maybe some yogurt if you like it, granola. I'm not much of an eater on travel days, so I usually just grab a banana in the morning, and I really limit my caffeine intake because I think that caffeine can be very dehydrating as well. So I want to steer very far away from anything that's going to dehydrate my body, because I already know that my body is going to be very dehydrated on a long haul flight. So what I do is the night before, I try to really boost up my electrolyte intake by taking coconut water or some sort of electrolyte powder in my water if I don't have coconut water. And that really just helps give me an extra hydration boost before my flight. And then the day of the flight, I'm gonna stick to really small meals, snacks mostly, some protein. Of course, it's always good to have protein because it'll keep you full longer, but definitely don't overdo it with the food. Tip number 5, and this goes without saying, but drink a lot of water. So make sure you're staying hydrated before your flight, during your flight, after your flight. It's so important to constantly be sipping on water. So what I like to do is I like to carry with me a water bottle, and that looks different depending on the flight that I'm on. The one that I found for this really long haul flight that I'm going to share with you is actually a really great one. I found it on Amazon, and what I love about this one is that it actually rolls up. So it's made out of rubber, and you're able to really roll it up and kind of compact it. So, you know, I took a carry-on size, and so I needed the smallest, most compact items possible. And so I found this one, and you can actually wrap it around, which is so nice, and do this and kind of lock it so that it stays really small. So while I was going through TSA, I kept it very compact in my backpack like so. And then when I got on the flight and I was, you know, out of security, then I opened it up, and then I was able to, you know, have a lot of water with me on the flight. And to me, it's very important to have a lot of water, because you can't always count on the flight attendants to give you enough water. You know, I'm a big water person. I like to have water. I like to drink water. And, you know, they just give you these little cups, which can feel really limiting. And so in order to avoid that, I just pack my own. And then once I'm out of security, I buy a water bottle at the airport, and then I stick it in here. Sometimes if I can, I'll get ice to go along with it. It'll keep it cool, but especially on a long haul flight, you really don't want to depend on the flight attendants, because, you know, turbulence can cause them to delay them getting water to you. And if you're already feeling dehydrated, that is not a good thing. So make sure that you're packing a water bottle and drinking a lot of water before, during, and after your flight. Tip number 6 is try to sleep as much as you can. I am a huge believer that if you sleep on a plane, not only will it make the time go by faster, but it's also going to work for you when you get to a new place and you have a really big time difference, because you're already going to be exhausted no matter what, but you have a better chance at getting through the hump of the time change if you sleep on a plane. So what I do to help me is not only do I pack my sleepy time tea, which I already showed you earlier, but I also take these little essential oil roller balls. This one says Chill Pill. I got this at Whole Foods, I think. And it's just an essential oil blend that is very calming. It smells very good. And it just kind of puts me in that mindset of, it's time to go to sleep. Of course, the Dramamine also helps. This is a peppermint oil, which I also like to take on the plane because, it smells so good. And I love peppermint. And then this one is a travel aromatherapy roller ball. And same thing, it just has calming effects, especially if you get motion sickness. It really helps calm you down and make you feel ready to just, be relaxed and be in a nice, peaceful state, which will help you to go to sleep. And so, sleeping is so important. Try to take at least a nap if you can. And if you need a sleeping aid, that's okay too. Take some melatonin or take Dramamine or take whatever works for you, whatever you like, that is not going to make you groggy, but it'll really help you fall asleep on a plane. So for me, that's Dramamine and of course my essential oils. So take a nap on the plane. And my last tip for you is to say a prayer before you go. You always want to commit yourself to the Lord in prayer, but especially when you're going on a really long haul flight, because, it could be a little scary sometimes, going through different oceans and, the turbulence. I don't know anyone who is a fan of turbulence, on a plane. But if you give it to God, you give your worries to God and you cast your cares upon the Lord, He will take care of you. And every time I go anywhere on a plane or anywhere in general, I always say a prayer before I go, and it really helps me just be in a peaceful state, knowing that my life is not my own, but my life belongs to God and He cares about us. So say a prayer, commit your life into Jesus's hands and watch Him just take care of you every step of the way. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you are new to my channel, don't forget to click that subscribe button and that notification bell so that you can be notified every single time I upload a new video. I have so much in store for you. I want to do more lifestyle videos like this one, but I also want to continue to do my devotional vlogs, which you guys seem to really enjoy. But if you have a suggestion for my next vlog, comment down below and let me know what it is, because I would love to incorporate your suggestion into my next video. Thank you so much for watching, and may God bless you and keep you wherever you end up this year. Bye-bye now.